Hey TNLC, Pastor Clayton here, and I want to give you our next update on our steps and phases to regathering together as a church. Now, right now it's July 27th, it's Monday, and a couple things are coming up. One, August, but with August, on August 11th or 10th, we were supposed to have the start of school. That's now been delayed in Pasco County for 2 weeks. And there's still continually very, very high in the top 3 every day. It seems like numbers of COVID testing, number 3 in the nation compared to other states. And so we're trying to take all that into account when we come up with our plans for regathering. We've tried to never announce a date to you so that we didn't have to pull back the date or feel unnecessarily bound to that date. But we did want to because there might be a feeling of, every week, like, are we there? Are we there? Are we there? Are we there? And here's what we as a leadership team have decided, is that we will not be going back to Sunday morning services for at least the months of August and September. We're not going back to Sunday morning live in-person services for at least the months of August and September. Now, I've got some notes here. You might see me looking down a little more than normal because I want to make sure that I hit all the points that I've written down. Now, something might change in the next couple months that allows us to move back to in-person services, but we feel pretty confident that we know how to pull those off. So we just don't want to need to worry about how are we going to come back, because we don't think that's coming up soon. So we want to go ahead and say, hey, you don't need to ask about it. You don't need to worry about it for at least the months of August and September unless something radical happens. Other churches, you've seen other churches open. You've seen other churches open and close. You've seen other churches stay closed. Every church is in a different circumstance based on how many people are in their church, the size of their people compared to the size of their building, how many services they're running. It's a kind of up and down. And again, what we've tried to do is avoid certain dates so that we didn't go open and then close and then open and then close. We've tried to avoid that yo-yoing of experiences, and we also don't want you weighted on the edge of your seat thinking it's right about to come, which is why we've said that we are not going to be meeting on Sunday mornings for live services for the months of August and September. Here's a couple of the reasons why. In talking with other pastors, you can imagine that I'm in communication with lots of other pastors, both in the area and around the nation. Every single pastor I've talked to has said that every week that they are open, their attendance continually declines. Virtually every church in America is reporting that their Sunday attendance numbers are somewhere between 10 and 25% of what their numbers were pre-COVID-19. And so for us, we've tried to do a little bit of a calculation. We want to be able to provide the best experience for everyone. And we know even if we felt comfortable throwing open our doors right now, there would be people who aren't able to come and are not comfortable coming. And we don't want those folks to feel left out. We don't want you to feel shamed. We don't want you to feel like you're less than or looked down upon, whether, again, you're in a position where you can't gather or you're not comfortable gathering. And so if by all accounts, most people are finding that somewhere between, let's just say 30% of their people are coming, that means 70% of people are not coming on Sunday mornings. And so we want to put the focus on continuing to pre-record our services and spending most of our effort in putting on those high quality, the best we can do, pre-recorded services so that we spend the majority of our time, we spend most of our time to meet the needs of most of our people. If we're like every other church in America and most people are not going to be coming on a weekly basis, again, we want to make sure that the most of our effort goes to meeting where most of our people will be. Now, one of the things that is challenging for us is to make sure that we're still creating environments of faith. We have plans to be able to try to expand that and to be able to create some openings and some environments of faith over the next couple weeks. We're not ready to quite announce it because we still need to experiment and grow with it a little bit behind the scenes before we can really throw it out to everyone out there. But that's a burden that we have as a church, to make sure we're creating environments of faith. And of course, because the easiest one was something like a Sunday morning gathering. Our broadcast, we've allowed some of our staff and their spouses to come to that broadcast. And again, we're experimenting with that, testing that out, and learning how to be able to grow in creating environments of faith. But I want to encourage you that to continually consider the idea of a family gathering. Now, I know you hear that a lot and it might kind of go over your head, but I can tell you our family does it on a weekly basis with 2 other families, and it's amazing. It is absolutely an environment of faith and fellowship. And I think with the family gatherings we've had going on, there is more sermon application taking place over the last few months than maybe at any point in time in my preaching life. And as a preacher, that does make me feel very good. And I know some people are not able to gather together in a family gathering because they're not comfortable with it or they're not sure where to go. So I'd tell you this, if you're not sure if you'd like to be a part of a family gathering and you can be in one. A lot of people want to come back to church, but when we start pressing them and telling them the kind of restrictions, they're like, well, I couldn't come. So we want to make sure when we're talking about the people who not only want to come to a family gathering, but can come to a family gathering, and you don't have one, please let us know. info@trinitynewlife.com, update@trinitynewlife.com, and we're going to try to match some of those folks together. But unless we know that, we really can't help. And then I would encourage you, if you're missing people, if you're missing worship, then to try to get into one of these family gatherings. Because if you're not comfortable being around 4 or 5 other people, it's going to be really strange to then try to come around and be around whatever 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 people that we might have in a service. Those 2 things don't fit together. I know there's a lot of people who want to get together, but maybe actually aren't able to. So if you're able to get together with other people, my encouragement is to do so. Don't wait. Don't wait for the doors of the church building to be open before you start creating environments of faith, before you start diving into fellowship, before you start diving into application and transformation into discipleship. And really, that's my encouragement for us, church, is to not wait, to not say as soon as, no. We can be playing that game in some way, shape, or form for who knows how long, as soon as. Let's not play that game anymore. Let's play this game. Right now, I can. Right now, I can pick up my Bible. Right now, I can encourage people. Right now, I can be salt and light to the world. Right now, I can be full of worship. Right now, I can be developing my devotional life. Right now, I can be developing an environment of faith in my home or going to somebody else's home and developing that environment of faith. Right now, I can be honoring God with my finances. I can be honoring God with my words, with my social media posts, with the way that I serve my neighbors, with the way that I serve my brothers and sisters in Christ, with the way that I love and care for other people around here. Here's what I can do. Let's make sure that we are not worried about the as soon as, but we are thinking about the opportunities that God has placed before us right now to be and make disciples who change the world. So again, I know it might feel disappointing. Some of you might feel relief that we're not rushing back. Some of you might feel disappointed and maybe we're cowering under fear or false numbers or any of that. All I can tell you is the same thing I've tried to tell everybody. I'm trying to love and pastor everyone, not just the people ready to come back, not just the people who are going to be really long time before they're ready to come back. We're trying to find ways to pastor and love everybody. And so we're saying no Sunday through at least August and September of this year. We're working to create environments of faith. We'd encourage you to make sure you're trying to do what you can to create environments of faith. And the biggest thing is, don't wait to meet God. Don't wait to be changed by God. Don't wait to be and make disciples who change the world, because there's nothing, no pandemic holds God back. No restrictions hold him back. No rooms hold him back. No circumstances hold him back. He is the God who is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And 8 months ago, he wanted us to be making disciples who change the world. And 8 months from now, he's going to be wanting us to do the same thing. So we're not going to wait. I want you not to wait. I'm everything I can not to wait. Let's be and make disciples who change the world right now.